Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today I am doing my top 5 Rebel units for Star Wars Legion. We are going to be counting down the top 5, and this is something I've done for all of the other factions. So I'm going to put links over at the end of the video if you haven't already seen those. This is obviously going to be based largely on my own opinions, but I've tried to make a good list. Before we get started, let me know in the comments what you think the top 5 are going to be, or the number 1 are going to be. Let's see how many predictions that you get right. Also, you can enter to win that $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. While you're doing that, also be sure to check out the links that are in the description below. We've got links to our Discord, which is a very family-friendly Discord. I'd love to talk about Star Wars Legion with you in there. Come on and join up. We also have, it's free. So are subscriptions too, by the way. Limited time only while supplies last. Get your free subscriptions down below. Click that subscribe button. Really helps out the channel too. But there's other links too if you want to follow me on social media, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of that great stuff. And you can check out some other links that are down there as well. I want to thank you guys for returning subscribers. Big thanks to my patrons as well. You guys are amazing. You can find links for Patreon down there if you're interested in supporting the channel. But even if not, if you're just here to hang out and have a good time, I'm glad to have you. Let's get into this list. Coming in at number 5, the AA5 speeder truck. This one was a reluctant entry, but it's new and it's fun and it's totally badass. It's the AA5 speeder truck. I wanted to include this one. A lot of the reason that I put this on here was because it's new, it's fun, it does a whole lot for other units as well. A lot of the stuff that comes with it also kind of boosts the land speeder. It can perform a whole lot of different functions. It also kind of serves as, I don't know, maybe like a partial fix, or at least a really, really well-needed spot that got like a hole filled, with that full transport capability for fleet troopers and Wookiees and things like that can now get into the battle quicker. All of that's really fun. But it has some other really cool things too that, like for example, you can run it shielded, you can run it as an ambulance, you can run it as a crazy, I'm going to run people over with the reckless driver, you can make it field commander, you can make it attack twice with the unstable astromech, you can do so many, give it free tokens out with the unorthodox tactician. You can do so many very, very different things, or you can make it just a gun truck, or you can make it have no guns. It's like a Swiss Army knife of vehicles. It can do a lot of stuff, and it's a big old like 1980s heavy metal like wizard van with like the Howling at the Moon or the Wizard and Unicorn stuff. Like it's a super awesome van. And some of the paint jobs people have come up with it are awesome. So like I think the Mini itself and the style function gives us some points. And this was tough because there was a lot of competition for the top 5 spots. There were a lot of things that I also thought were great that probably deserved to be on this list, but so it was kind of tough picking the top 5 and like who was number 6, right? Let me know who you think number 6 might have been once you see all of them too. So the AA5 coming in at number 5. Number 4 is going to be Tauntaun Riders. Tauntaun Riders have had a pretty good spot for a long time. They've been very popular for a long time, and they're still good. They've actually been too good for a while. And they've actually been nerfed. They're a little bit more expensive now, 95 points instead of 90 when they originally came out. They made situational awareness. They had to make situational awareness more expensive for Tauntauns because they were too good. And so I think that has a lot to do with what makes them great. First off, they're cool. I happen to really, really like the Hoth-based stuff. My very first terrain set that I made for Star Wars Legion was all based on Hoth. All that wintry terrain, so that much was really groovy. Look, they get agile when they get free dodge tokens. They already have defensive surge also, but they're speed 3, so they're getting around the battlefield really, really quick. They have relentless. Relentless is such a good keyword, right? Free attack after you move. They want to move anyway. One of the things that really goes into my lists is when people have tech that works with itself. You don't have to rely on like 7 or 8 different units to make a combo work. If it's just got built-in abilities that just naturally work, that really helps. So that's one of the things that goes in here. Reposition is always great. Sharpshooter is really nice. They don't need to shoot, but it's nice that they have a really good shot if they're going to do it, and unhindered, of course. But one of the things that makes them so amazing is RAM, and it's a numbered keyword on the weapon. RAM 1. Ram is just amazing because it takes out so much risk out of attacking with them. They've already got good dice when they're attacking. You got 2 black and a white for that melee per mini, and there's 2 minis in here, so you're getting double of everything you see on the card. And they have 4 health too, so it's really hard to lose a mini. So like Ram 1 is so good because even if you roll poorly, you're going to have 2 minis if you did your full move ahead of time, that you're going to be able to change 2 dice. So Ram is just such an incredibly good keyword. I love it. And if for whatever reason you don't get to do that melee attack, you still have a really good blaster pistol shot. 2 red per mini, so 4 red with surge to hit. And sharpshooter. Like they're so incredibly good. And then they're speed 3, so they're good at everything. They're good at melee, they're good at range, they're good at staying alive, and they're good at getting the objectives. They're just incredible for that. So you might want to run them with Comm Jammer. It's a nice, effective way to potentially deny people orders. They can really shut down some droids and stuff like that for those B1 lines, because you're going to run these guys a lot of times behind enemy lines. But then you might also want to consider HQ uplink. But Tenacity is also a really good training upgrade for them. For again, you're doing that. They're probably going to get wounded. People like to shoot at them. Get an extra red die in there too. Make that melee just even more insanity. Let's go for it. So yeah, Tauntaun Riders coming in at number 4. At number 3, Rebel Veterans. They are the best core that the Rebels can field. You gotta field some core. Rebel Veterans are where it's at. Look, I like the Rebel Troopers. I love the Z6. And Fleet Troopers are a little better now because Fleet Troopers can be transported with the AA5. And that's cool too. But the Rebel Veterans, they have Surge to hit, Surge for defense. They have a black die for their ranged attack. And they give you the Mark II, which is a really, really groovy fire support with critical 2 on it. 4 extra black dice added to anybody else's attack. Like, I really like the Mark II. But the Rebel Veterans are just, they're just very, very good. And they have this kind of built-in, self-sustained tech that just makes them work really well with themselves. I love to give them the comms tech and HQ uplink so that they can give an order to themselves. Then they also get to give an order to the Mark II medium blaster trooper. It's really the same kind of functionality that the shore troopers have for the Empire, but the shore troopers have a little bit better range. Now, cool thing about Rebel Veterans is they have gotten boosted. They are better now than they used to be. Like their CMO 93 is range 4 now. The Mark II medium blaster has extra hit points. They've been getting buffed. They've been getting better and better little by little, which is awesome because they deserve it. They're like an elite unit. They're really good. They only have 1 health and 1 courage, right? But they have a training slot. You can give them offensive push is really, really nice for them if you're going to be moving and getting into range 3 because you kind of want them in range 3. But then you have Overwatch, which is a pretty good option for somebody who's going to have that face-up order. You're going to be able to make them go first. If you're paired with the Mark II medium blaster, you might have 2 different units that are both covering like the same circle. So even if somebody gets first and manages to shoot 1 and shut down suppression, you got somebody else that can do it. I do like sometimes when you have standbys that are kind of helping each other out. That's a pretty cool option too. But another thing I think is interesting about the Rebel Veterans is they're kind of like the inverse Z6. And I love the way Z6 functions with Rebel Troopers. But it's kind of like you got some black and you have a whole bunch of white, but you don't have Surge to crit, right? So it's kind of like that, but now with Surge to crit, a little bit you trade off a little bit of white dice for Surge to crit. Of course, you can add extra. You can add extra black too with the Mark II if you're doing fire support. Get a whole lot more in there. Although, it doesn't have to be. He can fire support anybody because they don't really need the critical 2 keyword. You're going to actually have critical 4 with this. So it's nice if you're going to somebody that you really need those crits. Like if you're going into armor, or if you're going into somebody with a lot of dodge tokens, or you're going into somebody with heavy cover or whatever. That's certainly one consideration. But Rebel Veterans, the best core you can get for the Rebels currently, and they're pretty good, and they've been getting better. Number 2 is going to be Sabine Wren. Sabine Wren is just incredible, right? She's a Mandalorian. She comes with a whole bunch of gadgets and amazing command cards. She's got mobility. She's got red defense dice, defensive surge, impervious, really hard to kill. She's only got 5 hit points, but she's really hard to kill. And she can have shields on top of all of that. She's like one of the hardest to kill units in the entire game. and nimble. I mean, like, all these things are amazing. She's got Gunslinger, so she's got a really good ranged attack built in. Jump 2, Speed 3, Surge to Crit. Just, like, this awesome basket of great keywords all in one unit. Optional things, you know, Darksaber is cool. You don't need it, but Dauntless is actually really cool. With her, Dauntless is a great keyword. It's 5 black, decent melee attack, immune to Pierce, Impact 1, Pierce 1. Hey, that's great. She's got Pierce 1 on her ranged already, so you don't always have to bring the Darksaber. But Dauntless, if you're going to get shot a lot, hey, I don't want to lose my stuff, especially with Jump 2. I don't want to lose an action. Okay, now I can still move. Electro Grapple Line is pretty cool. I think this one's going to be a lot better in the future, too. Immobilize, especially with Burst of Speed coming out. Electro Grapple Line, I think immobilization tokens are going to be incredibly huge in the next wave and beyond. So I think she's going to see even more use, I think. Next year she might be #1 for the Rebels at some point. I guess we'll have to see. And then, of course, the shield is cool. Another thing that's great about her is it also makes the Mandalorian resistance better. If you're running Clan Ren, they get that free dodge or aim or something like that with her, and they really need, well, usually an aim for them. They really need it. So she makes them a lot better too. And she's got command cards. She's got she's got decent. Her 2 and 3 pip are decent, but her 1 pip is really a good selling point with the big explosions. She can just kind of get anywhere and just drop some bombs, get out for free, and like boom, and blow them up. It's gorgeous. It's really crazy gorgeous. And that brings us to #1. It's going to be Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight, Operative Luke. He is incredible. He is insane, and he is the best. I don't think there was really any question about what #1 was going to be. Definitely going to be Luke Skywalker. Force reflexes, Jedi mind trick, force push, saber throw. What are you going to give him, right? He can only take 3. There's a lot of options. You also got force speed potentially coming out too. It's going to be sick. For training options, I like to run tenacity on him. I like to run force push, mind trick, and force reflexes usually. But I mean, he's got 7 black dice built in. Saber throw could be an option. It really could be. But he's got disengage. He can just move away. He's got deflect. He's got charge and jump and speed 2. Surge to crit built in, which is important because a lot of Jedi don't always have all those surges. So that is good. Pierce 2 and impact 2 on his weapon. And the cool thing about Jedi Luke also is he's got access to all 6 command cards. He's got all of Commander Luke's command cards and all of his command cards that he can use, and they're good command cards. They're all good command cards, and they, like Luke's original 3 were great, and these other ones are great too. And like you don't have to run them all. He actually pairs pretty well with Lando. Lando, I think, helped make Luke even better, because you can have some contingencies, so you're not, it's like less of a risk running all 6 of Luke's command cards. But like Mind Trick is really good if you're running You Serve Your Master Well. Or if you eventually want to run Burst of Speed, maybe you do that. You jump in, and now you're vulnerable. Next turn, you're like, no, screw it. I'm throwing down my lightsaber. I'm a Jedi. No, but you guys can't attack, and I'm not attacking either. I'm gonna hold the objective since I got in here. And I just cut down all your friends and family last turn, but I'm declaring peace this turn. He's just insane. How much damage he can do, how reliable he is. You might want to consider offensive push. Sometimes if you're playing really aggressive Luke, want to run in there, get that aim token. You run on a lot of dice. I think I'd rather have tenacity than offensive push though, but I think there's different situations. If you have no wounds and you run in there, then tenacity won't really help you as much, whereas offensive push guaranteed to give you an aim. But then again, you might just roll perfectly and not need the aim anyway. Sometimes a red die is better as it happens anyway. All right, so that's gonna do it for this list. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Hop in my Discord. Let's talk some more about some of your favorite Rebel units. What made it, what didn't make it, and what are some of the things you hope to see added to the Rebels in the future. I want to thank my patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for continuing to support the channel. You guys are true champions. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and always remember, salad dressing goes on the lettuce, not up your nose.